Lost love. James always loved the quiet countryside. The city was too noisy and busy for him. He liked open fields, fresh air, and the sound of leaves moving in the wind. One evening, feeling tired of city life, he decided to take a drive without a destination. The road stretched ahead, long and empty. His little red car moved smoothly, and he felt free as the city lights disappeared behind him. As the sun rose, the countryside appeared before him. It was peaceful. Birds sang, and the morning air was cool. Everything was perfect, until his car stopped suddenly. He had run out of fuel. James felt worried. He looked at his map. There were no towns nearby. He got out of the car, thinking about what to do. Then, in the distance, he saw a girl. She walked down the road, holding flowers. She wore a long dress, and her dark hair shone in the morning light. She looked different, almost like she was from another time. James forgot his problem for a moment and walked toward her. "Hello," he said. "I think I'm lost. Can you tell me where I am?" She hesitated and looked at him with big blue eyes. James saw that she seemed nervous. He spoke softly. "My car ran out of fuel. Do you know where I can get some?" The girl gave him a small smile. "I don't know," she said. "Come to my village. Maybe we can help you." James felt relieved and followed her. They walked for a long time. He checked his map again. There was no village marked in this area. But then he saw it. A small village hidden among the trees. The houses were old, with black and white wooden frames. Animals roamed freely. Everything looked untouched by time. The girl led him to her house and invited him inside. The house was simple and clean, but something felt strange. A fire burned in the fireplace, and food cooked over it. James was hungry, and the smell made his stomach growl. But he wondered why they cooked on an open fire instead of using a stove. He met her parents, a kind older couple. Their clothes looked like they were from the past. They welcomed him, but they seemed curious about him. "Are you thirsty?" the old man asked, handing him a drink. James took a sip and almost coughed. The drink tasted strong and earthy, unlike anything he had tried before. He ignored his uneasiness and asked about fuel, but the old man just looked confused. "Fuel?" he asked. "What is that?" James frowned. "You don't have cars here?" The old man laughed. "No, we use horses." James looked at the girl, her name was Mary, and then at the house. The fire, the clothes, the way they lived. Something was not right. But he liked Mary. He liked the village. He felt at home. He spent the day there, eating and talking with Mary. She was kind and gentle. But when the sun started to set, she looked sad. "You have to leave now," she said. James frowned. "Why?" "You are only a visitor here," she whispered. "You must leave before morning." "But I don't want to go," he said. "I'll get fuel and come back." Mary's blue eyes filled with sadness. "No, James, you must not return. It is dangerous." He didn't understand, but he could see she was afraid. He promised, "I will return. I love you, Mary." She didn't stop him. James walked through the dark countryside until he reached a town before dawn. He found a small gas station and told the attendant what had happened. The man gave him a portable fuel canister. As he paid, he asked about Mary's village. The man frowned. "What village?" James described it, the old houses, the people's strange clothing. The man's face darkened. "There was a village there," he said slowly, But it's not there anymore. James felt his stomach tighten. What do you mean? It burned down long ago. Everyone in that village died. Shock hit him. How? Oliver Cromwell's army destroyed it over 300 years ago. The villagers helped the king's soldiers, so Cromwell punished them. James shook his head. That's impossible, he whispered. I was there today. I talked to them. The man studied him. There's an old legend, he said. Once every 10 years, for one day, the village returns, but by morning it disappears again. And if you stay, you never leave. James' mind raced. Mary's warning, the old-fashioned clothes, their confusion about fuel, the horses, the fire. It all made sense now. She was trying to save me, he realized. He ran back to the village. In the distance, he could still see it. But as the sun rose, the village began to fade. By the time he reached Mary's house, everything was gone. No houses, no people, just trees and flowers moving in the wind. The village had vanished, and Mary was gone. James fell to his knees, filled with sorrow. He had found love, only to lose it in a single day. He walked back to his car and poured the fuel from the canister into the tank. His hands trembled. He looked back one last time, hoping to see Mary. But she was gone. He drove away, but he could never forget her. And now he had to wait 10 more years until the village returned. This time, he would go back. And this time, he would not leave before morning. And that's the end of the story. Hope you learned something new. Thanks for watching.